going to be using that second home personally, they can't use it more than 14 days out of the year and get all 100% of the deductions. So if they use it half the time personal and half the time business, only 50% of the deductions are allowable against the rent.
Wow, I would not have thought that. So 14 days.
Yes.
That's a small vacation.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, there you go. Welcome to the Real Estate of Texas with the Gals of the Hill Country. Brought to you by Solid Realty Group in Boerne, Texas at solidrealtygroup.com. And now your hosts, Jessica Johnson and Callie Redd.
Thank you all so much for listening to us. This is the Real Estate of Texas, and we are Solid Realty Group. I'm Jessica Johnson, here with my wonderful business partner, Miss Callie Redd.
Thanks, Jess. We have a great show lined up for you all today. We have a special guest that everyone in Boerne knows and trusts, Suzann Woodward, who is a certified public accountant here and has a firm in town.
I am so glad that she's here to chat with us about how to get our best returns. And what do we say? Show me the money, right? Hi, Suzann. How are you today?
Jessica, I'm fine.
Fine. So Suzann, you are a CPA here in Boerne, and as you guys know, we are a real estate company. So one of the things, well, first off, tell us a little bit about you. That's what we want to know.
I've had my firm here in Boerne for 25 years now. I do all kinds of tax returns, and we do tax planning, which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
And we do estates and trusts and financials. We have bookkeeping and payroll services just for our clients, and we just stay busy.
You do. You're
There's
a very
lot
busy
going
lady.
on.
And as a Rotarian, I know that we miss you for a couple of months throughout the year when you're doing the tax audits and all of
Yes.
that. So you're getting that taken care of. But one of the reasons that we brought you on our show today is we wanted to talk to a CPA because we've been talking to different people over the weeks that we've been doing our show. And one of the big questions that people always bring up is, how does buying a house benefit me on my taxes? And so we just kind of want more of a broad view of what it is that you say as an accountant benefits people and what they need to be prepared for when they do buy a house.
Well, first off, if you own a home, you're more likely to be able to itemize your deductions.
Okay. And how does that help?
Well, it gets you higher than the standard deduction.
Okay.
So it lowers your other income.
Okay.
The way you get more deductions is from being able to deduct up to $10,000 of your property taxes. Your mortgage interest is deductible as long as your loan is not more than $750,000.
And why is that? Why do they max it at $750,000?
That's just part of the revenue cuts that have gone on. So there's talk about changing that a bit, but I don't think it will.
Okay.
And so those with your medical deductions, that all adds up to probably more than what your standard deduction is.
Okay.
So did you say the loan couldn't be more than $750,000? Not the value of the property, just the
Not the
loan
value-
itself.
the loan
So you can
itself.
write off the interest as long as the loan itself is not more than $750,000.
Right. And if it's over that, then it's prorated. So you don't get the full benefit.
I see. Okay, but at least it's prorated, so you get something.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about these medical deductions.
The medical deductions are anything for prescriptions, any kind of medical care, eyes, dental, chiropractic, anything that considered to be health.
So not Botox. I can't write that off. No. Oh,
No
wow.
elective surgery
I mean,
is deductible.
gotta ask. You never know. Vitamins, is that considered? No.
No.
No vitamins.
No.
That's so interesting.
Cataract surgery, though, yes.
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 Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you say the standardized deductions, or you can go up to $10,000, if you itemize your deductions, is that on top of the homestead exemption that's already applied to the house if you fill out the form?
The homestead deduction has nothing to do with taxes
Okay.
other than property taxes. So will reduce your real estate tax,
Okay.
but it doesn't change
Right. So it's we're talking about two separate taxing
Yeah.
properties,
Right.
Income taxes is what Suzanne's mostly talking about, yes?
Yes.
Income taxes
Correct.
as opposed to property taxes.
Right. Just delineating between the two, making sure people understand there's two separate subsets of it.
Right. You can write off your mortgage, but I don't. Well, you said you could write off up to $10,000 of property taxes.
You
then.
can.
So tell us about that.
The 10,000 is the maximum, and that also includes adding any sales tax that you have. You can add those up because your property taxes may be, say, $6,000, but maybe you bought a vehicle. The sales tax is deductible as well.
So sales tax on only large items, or
You have a standard, it goes by your income. So it's kind of a standard rate for sales tax. But if you purchase a car or a boat, a motorcycle,
but I can't
those
just
things
take all
are
my
added.
receipts from HEB and add up all of my sales tax. That's not what we're talking
No,
about.
you can.
Oh, I could.
But very seldom does it get higher than the standard rate.
Oh, okay. So the standard rate is based on your income. So it's
Yes.
sort of like a mile rate on your car that you could write off. So
Right.
Same kind of concept. Gotcha.
How interesting. So when you're looking at different items to use towards your taxes and someone is purchasing, say, an investment property on top of their house, what are some things that they need to be aware of that could be potential pitfalls for them if they weren't aware of something?
For investment property, normally it's rental.
Okay.
And if you're an individual that's renting it out, you're subject to a maximum loss of $25,000 a year.
Okay.
So if you have a rental loss that's more than $25,000, it carries over.
Okay.
Do not lose it. And if you sell the property, you get that loss added in, so it lowers your net income on the sale.
So it would lower your capital gains as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So $25,000. So is that if damage occurs to the house, like if the renters, messed up your floor and you had to come in and replace it, could that be towards the $25,000, or is it only the income that you make off of the rental sale itself?
No, it's actually the net income after all expenses are paid, plus your depreciation. When you have a rental property, you get to depreciate it.
Okay.
And it's over 27 years, 27 and a half years if it's a residential property.
Okay.
So usually what you're looking for, unless you need large losses, is to have your rent set, which it has to be a fair market rent. You can't rent it to a child at a decreased rate
Okay.
and take these deductions. You have to do a fair rental value. Now, the depreciation is going to lower that. So you want it to cash flow, but the depreciation, which is not cash flow, will reduce it even more.
So it's 27 years over a residential, but what is it over a commercial?
30.
Oh, so you get a little longer.
Not too big of a differential, but enough for a couple of extra years. That's important. So the same thing can be said for like replacing the air conditioning unit or things like that. So if you don't use the entire $25,000, you can roll it over to the next year.
Yes.
Okay. And do people like doing that? Is there a benefit in holding any of that until the following year?
Not necessarily, but the good thing is you want to buy low, of course.
Of course.
And you're making cash flow revenue on a property. And then as the value increases, whatever you sell it for, you have capital gains. That's a lower tax rate. But you do have to recapture your depreciation at ordinary rate.
Gotcha. So what is the biggest issue that people have when they purchase a secondary home to use as an investment property? What do they do incorrectly tax-wise where they could save themselves a little extra money on something like that?
If they're going to be using that second home personally, they can't use it more than 14 days out of the year and get all 100% of the deductions. So if they use it half the time personal and half the time business, only 50% of the deductions are allowable against the rent.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's really interesting. So you have to look at that. Wow. I would not have thought that. So 14 days.
Yes.
That's a small vacation.
It is. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There you go. That's all we got. So, well, thank you for turning into the Real Estate of Texas, presented by Solid Realty Group of Bernie. You can always give us a call at 210-827-3733 and let us help you through the stress of buying or selling a home. And we can connect you to trusted folks like Suzann for money matters or whatever it may be. Roofing, insurance, give us a call. All right. So, Suzann, we were talking about different ways, different benefits on your taxes to different investment properties, different things. And so we had talked about rentals briefly, and I think that's so fascinating that it's the way that it correlates. If you use more than 14 days, you have a different type of depreciation on your investment, on your rentals, than if you actually rent it out the entire time. Now, is it a better transaction for people that have rentals to do things like VRBOs or to do just straight rental?
That depends on your goals. What
Okay.
is it you're trying to achieve?
Okay.
And the Airbnb can definitely be very beneficial, but you have to keep very good records so you know exactly how much of the time is being spent rented to Airbnb, and if you're doing anything personally in the home as well.
So is there a minimum amount of time that it has to be actually rented, or is it just the amount of time that it is available to be rented?
Both. It has to be available to be rented. And the 14 days applies to Airbnb. If you rent it for 14 days or less, there's no income to report.
Okay, so the 14 days applies on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Right.
It has to be rented at least 14 days. We're not still talking about the 14 days applying to the homeowner using the property for 14 days.
Right.
Gotcha.
Wait a second. So you can have a rental property, and you yourself, who owns it, can live or rent it or be in there for 14 days. But you only have to rent it for 14 days total for that whole year for you to, and then you can just deduct the rest as a loss?
That's Airbnb.
Uh-huh.
And you only get 14 days worth of expenses to go against it.
Now, is that for one rental or is that overall? Like if there's a 3-day rental here and a 3-day rental here, does it add up to 14 days and you can use those expenses? Or,
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's a little bit easier because 14 day, I mean, there's not a lot of people that necessarily go on vacation for 14 days. I mean, I'd love to do that.
Me too.
No, I think it's just a combination of days that it was rented to Airbnb patrons.
Right.
But she's also saying that you can only deduct the expenses based on the ratio of days that you've rented the property out.
Correct.
So if you had to say from a tax standpoint, if you owned a a property primarily for investment and rental income, how long should you hold the property before you turned it in, sold it, and got a different rental property? Is there a time frame for that?
I would say 2 years.
Every 2 years, you should sell your rental property and get
Not
another one.
necessarily. It depends on the real estate market. And you would be better to advise them about that than me. But you have to have the numbers work out.
I just wondered if there was sort of a trade-off between the home is getting to an age where I'm having a lot more expenses with, things just wearing out because the home is that age or the items in the home are that age. Is there a trade-off where tax-wise it makes sense to kind of cut and go?
Yes, especially if you have a nice gain in the property.
In the price of the property, the value of the
Right.
property? Right. Okay.
And we, like you mentioned, you have to wait that 2 years or you pay your capital gains taxes.
Well, no, that's you only have to hold it 1 year for capital gains.
Well, you're going back to the capital gains being for your individual ownership, like the one that you own.
Correct.
You have to own your
Residence.
own residence 2
Right.
of the last 5 years in order to not pay capital gains.
But
But
in
we're
the-
talking about rental properties.
Right.
So
And that's
it doesn't
only a
necessarily-
1 year.
Well, you're still going to pay capital gains, but you can reduce it by your depreciation, right?
Right.
But you're still going to pay capital gains because it's an income producing property, I believe.
Right.
Right? The oof. It was there and it went away. I know.
That's great.
I think really the decision to sell or replace a property really has to be based on the real estate market.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to.
The real estate market's going to guide that.
Because in the
And
last 2 years, the property values have gone up so much
Right.
that, I mean, the rental prices have got to go up a lot too, just to account for
do.
that. I mean, over the next few years, it'll be fascinating to see how those jump.
well, and not only that, because the property taxes have increased so significantly, rental income, it's harder to get your rent. You have to increase your rent.
Well, you're gonna have to, because the property values have gone up, which makes the real estate property taxes go up.
Right.
So if you cash out of your rental properties now because of the value of the properties have gone up so much, then the next person who buys it, no matter way it enters the rental pool, it's going to have to be a higher rental
rent.
rate. Right. So even the homeowner that bought it and then they realize they have to move for a job or whatnot, but they don't necessarily ready to sell it. Well, if they bought it at X amount of dollars, then those numbers have to at least cover the mortgage. So the rental properties, even in that small pool, is going to have to go up.
Right.
It's going to be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. As a tax accountant, is there any recommendations that you have for people in the next couple of years, knowing that's going to happen with their properties? Like what they should be prepared for?
Well, for one thing, the problem with selling is, what are you going to replace it with? Everything is higher.
Exactly, yes.
So unless you're leaving town or downsizing, you're going to be paying more than what you're selling for most times.
Yeah. Is it better for people to take the gains that they have on their houses back? Sorry, let me correct myself. Back to personal ownership.
Okay.
When you sell your home and you're past the 2 years and you have quite a substantial amount of money that's made off of that, is it more beneficial to invest it back into the next property that you purchase so you decrease what you owe on it, or is it better to reinvest it into something else? Is it, how, as an accountant, how do you guide people in a direction of, hey, you've made a substantial amount of money, what do you do next?
Well, the beauty of it being a residence and you having lived in it 2 out of 5 years, if you're married, the exclusion of the gain is up to $500,000. So unless your gain is more than that, you never pay tax on it.
Oh, so you just free float with it. Yeah.
That's why you sell every 2 years.
That's it.
It's your primary
But where do you
residence tax
go? Where
free
do you
income. But
go?
where do you go? Right.
Yeah.
That's always the question. But you can write off the interest on your mortgage,
Yes.
on your taxes.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes,
another
and
thing
the property tax.
that people are, right now in our current real estate market, the interest rates have gone up. So people, are interest rates went up.
Yeah.
But you can write that off on your taxes. So that, there's some benefits to all
There
of it.
is.
Yeah.
And then if you end up with a $500,000 gain and pay zero tax on it, that's the best deduction there is.
No kidding. No kidding.
So if people want to get in touch with you, Suzann, how do they find you here in Bernie? I know you're out and about a lot, but how do they get to you?
They can reach me at 830-249-4159. We're at 512 East Blanco Road, Suite 200. We're right across the street from the post office. And my website is www.cpabernie.com.
That's an easy one.
No kidding.
CPAbernie.com.
You must have had that one for a little while.
Yes,
Got in early.
Well,
that was my daughter's suggestion.
That was a good
That
one.
was a good one. Good for Mindy. Way to go. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So our favorite question to everybody before they leave is, what is your favorite thing about Bernie?
I love Bernie's people. There are so many good people with big giving hearts. It's just an amazing place to live that really want to help people and do really good things for our community. And I love being a part of that.
Yes, we all love being part of that. That's a very special place to be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great having you here.
Well,
and good to
thank
see you
you.
in general.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. And we're so thankful that you came on our show. And if you're listening to us and you're looking to buy or sell a house, we hope that you'll think of Solid Realty Group as Bernie's experts in the real estate market. And we are here to answer any of your questions about real estate. So give us a call at 210-827-3733 or visit our website at solidrealty.com. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a
Thank
great day.
you.
Bye. The real estate of Texas is always changing. Get a solid start to buying or selling a house with Solid Realty Group. Hey y'all, I'm Jessica Johnson, co-owner of Solid Realty Group, Bernie's 5-star realtors, where we have saved our clients over $3 million. Given today's rising home values and interest rates, every penny counts. Call Solid Realty Group to buy or sell, and we can help you save more and stress less. Call us at 210-827-3733, solidrealtygroup.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the Real Estate of Texas, brought to you by Solid Realty Group. Today, I am thrilled to have my friend Olivia Burdick, who is the CEO of the Rainbow Senior Center at Kronkosky Place, with us, joining us here in the studio. This place is near and dear to my heart, and they do a lot of fabulous work here in the Bernie community for our senior citizens. Thank you so much for joining us, Olivia.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand that we're going through a name change over there, so we're soon to be known as the Center rather than the Rainbow Senior Center at Kronkosky Place, but all of the same great things, same great people.
Absolutely. We are very excited to kick this off in a very short time, and we're going to be telling a new version of the same story and the same great programs and services that we've been offering since 1983.
Very good. Well, why don't you give us a little bit of a recap on what you do offer over there at the Senior Center for those of us that do not know.
I would love to. So the interesting part about what we do is that we are all aging. And I don't know if that's the good news for everybody, but I think it's a very positive thing because I think there's a lot to come with age, no matter what age you are. So our program, we have a very wide range of programs and services that we offer. Kronkosky Place, which I'm sure many have driven by, our beautiful building that we own, but it is the hub for activities for older adults in Kendall County. We offer a wide variety of services just within that program service area, as far as dining, learning and leisure opportunities, meetups and gatherings, fitness and wellness classes, different support services, different support groups for caregivers, Alzheimer's and dementia, and then a plethora of volunteer opportunities. In addition to the activity center, we run Meals on Wheels for all of Kendall County. So we are on track to serve over 60,000 meals this year to homebound seniors.
That is incredible. Wow.
And
way to go.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the staff over there in the kitchen, because the amount of meals that's turned out by the very tiny staff is unbelievable.
Absolutely. We have been running with a team of 3 incredible, passionate, and driven individuals, and we're proud to call them team members. In addition to that, though, we heavily rely on volunteers in so many different aspects. So we have a team of about 100 volunteers that deliver meals Monday through Friday to all parts of the county. And we also have kitchen volunteers that help us with counting and sorting and preparing those meals to go out every day.
Gotcha. And so the 61,000 number was just the delivered meals, but you also do in-house meals. So the number of meals coming out of that kitchen is, I don't even know the number, but it's big. It's a big number.
Yes. So with our congregate dining program, we're doing about 15,000 meals a year.
Yeah, amazing. 3 people.
Yes.
And a
3
bunch
people.
of volunteers.
3
Yes.
people plus.
Yes.
Yes.
So what else goes on over there? I kind of cut you off, so I apologize
That's
for
okay.
that.
So in addition to those services, we are running a transportation program in and around the Bernie area for doctor's appointments, grocery trips, errands to the bank, and to and from Kronkosky Place. So we do about 5,000 rides a year, and we just got our new bus, which we are very happy and excited about. And wheelchair accessible, which we have never had before. So thank you to the many donors and the county for their contributions to the bus, which was 100% covered by sponsorships and donations.
That's amazing. And that's such a needed service, just rides places. People don't even realize how many people just are unable to take themselves to do simple things. So I'm hopeful that that program's going to just grow and grow.
How many people does that bus fit?
So the new bus fits 14.
That's wonderful.
14 people.
Fantastic. Oh, good. And I know that in order to do this, you need a lot of donations and whatnot, but you guys do have a fantastic gala that's coming up. Is that right?
That is correct. So we have our gala coming up on November 19th. It will be held again at Mark Motors, and it's a Havana Nights theme. So we will be starting to look for sponsorships and table sponsors for that really fun event. If you've never been, you're in for a treat.
Well, I do have to say I am a little partial to the center, but it is the best gala in Boerne. So much fun. It's always just been so much fun over there.
Thank you.
Yes. But another thing, so if you are interested in helping with the center, then the center always has sort of an ongoing wish list going on. So you can just call up there and they'll sort of have a wish list of items that they're in need of, or donate or volunteer opportunities that they have ongoing right then. So if you're just looking for a way to plug in, that might be the best, a way to go and do that. So would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we really have tried to be more proactive about putting the information out there about the opportunities that are available. So putting together a wish list of tangible items, whether that's fans and heaters that we give out to our homebound seniors during those different times of the year, or a new freezer that may need for capacity for more meals, those items, as well as the volunteer opportunities, because when we work with over 250 volunteers a year to accomplish all of the things that we do to serve this community and our older adults.
Excellent.
That is excellent.
Or you can also just write a check.
Yes.
They're happy to take that too.
Yes. Or you can serve as a board member. Callie, I think you're a board member to the Kronkosky Place, right?
I am a board member or volunteer. To deliver meals. Oh, you know what? One of the cool things about the Meals on Wheels is that they take meals, which, yes, you need that. And they talk to the people when they go and deliver them, which is so nice, just the interaction. But they also do pet food, right? And we've started a new program to get pet visits for the vets and different things like that. And sometimes they deliver flowers. So many fun things going on at the seniors. So if you do not know about the center, then get in touch. We can share a lot more information with you about that.
Yes, we can.
We can. So Olivia, how do people get in touch with you? How can they sign up for volunteer, or find out what is needed, or how much check they can write? What can they do? How can they get to you guys?
They can stop by anytime. We're located at 17 Old San Antonio Road. They can visit our website, currently www.rainbowseniorcenter.com, and they can always give us a call at 830-249-2114.
There you go.
Wonderful. Well, that's all the time that we have with Olivia. Thank you so much for coming out today. We greatly appreciate it. And I think that the Kronkosky Place is such a wonderful, wonderful part of Boerne. And if you haven't been there, you're missing out. Go check it out. Absolutely. So
thanks, Olivia.
Thank you
for
guys.
coming. And we can't let you off the hook. What is your favorite thing about Boerne?
My favorite thing about Boerne is the older adult population. They are my favorite.
all the stories, right? All the history.
Lots of history.
So much wisdom.
Yes.
So much.
Yes. Well, thanks again for joining us. So nice to have you, and have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day. All right, y'all.